Hey, what's going on? Mark here for tbate 184, 85, and 86 review. Sorry, it's been a couple of weeks with the holiday. Things got a little bit extended, but we're going to get right into it, okay? So, with 184 was fantastic, okay? Let me just start off. Chapter was a 9 out of 10. Arthur's speech was so impactful. I kind of expected it to be like a really good speech, like, from the rip, only because I got a little bit spoiled from people in the comment section about, oh, next week comes the speech, and it's whatever. It's not a huge deal, but I did have high expectation for it. And not only that, Arthur's history. We know Arthur's history as a king, right? So it's only right that he knows how to give a speech, right? But the speech was fantastic. His description of loyalty, his description of community, his reinforcing that this is our home. Also, like, not discounting anybody that's suffering, anybody that's experienced like any type of racism or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like we're all kind of humans, or not humanoids, but this is our nation, and support is needed. And if you don't, that's fine. But I choose my loyalty differently than others, and it was fantastic. Response from the people kind of showed that they loved it. So very well done on that part. Even the ending with Sylvie turning into a dragon and kind of exposing herself to the public really was just like really well done. I really like felt it. Like, okay, we getting into it. Turtle is doing a fantastic job of building this war up. Like, this is the preface of the war. Everything that needs to get taken care of before the war is getting taken care of. So I like it. Now afterwards, there's a party to attend, and I'm not gonna lie, I wish Arthur attended the party because I would like to see his interactions with the other Lances. I just want to see what they think about him, talk about him, getting to know each other. But I know that's gonna come down the line. I know that already. But I kind of wanted it now, type thing, right? But shout out to Arthur becoming a Lance. I love to see it. Now afterwards, they attend Adam's funeral, and it's pretty well done. Small group of people who only really cared about him. Varian showed up just to show his respects, and then Varian goes in to ask Arthur to be his Lance. Now I expected this like I fully expected. Like, he does have an open slot. Why not? He's damn near gonna marry Tess. Like, well, we don't know, but it seems like it, right? So, they've always had a close relationship. Arthur was like, what, 6 or 5 years old. So, yeah, it only makes sense, right? And then he has to give him this artifact as well as kind of like a sign of him choosing him. But Arthur refuses, and I can't say I'm surprised by that either. It would stunt Arthur's growth. So the way I understand it works is, it basically caps your level, right? Like, it's like a leveling system, right? Let's just say like I'm level 100, okay, and I can keep growing, but I'll grow at a slower pace. But if I wanted to be, let's just say if I wanted to reach a level 150, like just to gain 50 quick levels, but that's it. That's kind of how it works. Now he can still reach level 150 if he didn't take the artifact. It would just take more time to do so. So that's how I understand the word. I'm pretty sure the light novel readers that's pretty correct, right? Of course, Alder agrees. Like, he agrees that like Arthur shouldn't do this. So the chapter pretty much ends with some more sobbing of Adam's death, and that's it. Oh, good, 9 out of 10. The next chapter is a little bit more emotional, and I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Solid. I do like the art. The art is getting a lot better. But Sylvie was the W here. Arthur started off the chapter arguing with his parents still about them leaving, back and forth on it. And we knew, like, even with the chapter when they disclosed it, Arthur was never okay with it. And I don't think he's ever going to be okay with it. But they did argue before they went off. So Arthur was kind of like distraught. And I will say, like, after that, seeing Sylvie kind of console him and give him advice and judge and criticize him, amazing. I love it, because Sylvie to me has always been like a buddy type pet, right? Like, in the background, super strong, does her job when she's needed, and his daughter, right? But this is like the first time I've seen her like really like, yo, like, you tripping, you should maybe do this. I absolutely loved her development. And even Arthur acknowledges it, like, when did you become like this? Like, and like, it's also great to know that like there's no perfect system between those two, because like, she can read Arthur's feelings, which I guessed, and we kind of knew, but we didn't know the extent of it, right? Like I didn't know like she could feel like when he's tripping like over like tests and stuff like that. So yeah, this was a really real revealing chapter. I love their relationship, and I love her development. As that moves forward, Alder shows up and lets Arthur know like, hey, I need your insight. Lets Arthur know that he's basically going to take part in strategy meetings. Let him know that he's been advised to take, any words from Arthur as like seriously and get his input on everything. So I love that. Arthur is an experienced warrior from his, previous life, and it's good. So I'm enjoying that part of it. I like that his experience from the past is going to benefit him. And then the second half of the chapter, which is kind of small, but Arthur goes to another camp. So it looks like a regular army camp. And he goes to find Glory, who was Arthur's teacher, at the academy. So the chapter kind of ends there with that. I guess she's a leader in her camp, but the chapter is pretty solid. Like I said, 7 out of 10. Art's good, loving the vibe. Again, we're in build-up phase, so I'm cool. And moving on to the last chapter on 186. Chapter is pretty good. Not amazing. 6.5 out of 10 for me. It's just good, good enough. Because I don't know the significance of this event yet. So Arthur's talking to Glory. She's congratulating him on being a general and everything, and they're discussing like her assignment and the low amount of troops she has and how he's supposed to speak to them. And she has more people joining up with her later. And then Arthur goes to kind of like mingle with the crowd to have like what he considers fun. Meets a cool couple who was fighting when he first got there, introduced himself, made friends with them, and then gets picked on by a guy who he absolutely puts in the dirt, no problem. And then Arthur's like realizing like how strong he actually is, even when like he's trying to hold back. So that's cool. Then he gets picked on by another person, a woman using a spear. Arthur's not trying to fight, but she could tell that Arthur's not sweet. So they get into it, and obviously Arthur overpowers her, and she's blushing afterwards. Arthur pulls the ladies, and nobody's surprised. And then it goes more into the relationship of him meeting the two people. Now I'm not gonna name them now because I'm not sure if they're gonna be super important or anything. And if they get like more screen time in the next couple chapters, and I'll start to name them as people. But they might just be background characters. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But and then he meets the cook, who also wants to like battle with him. And she like to pretend sweet, but Arthur could tell like you not sweet. Like I know you somebody. So basically how the chapter ends. Pretty good. I did love the bit about Arthur drinking. And still be getting on this case. But yeah, the art has been definitely an improvement since we came back, and I'm enjoying everything. So yeah. You guys let me know what you're thinking in the comments section. It will be 2 weeks going forward. I apologize for the third week. I did intend on recording earlier this week, but it's kind of got caught up. I'm maintaining 2 YouTube channels. So yeah. But thank you guys. Let me know. Hit the comment section. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.